from New Hanover County Schools Television, powered by students. This is your school news.
Welcome to your school news. I'm Alexander Ellsworth.
And I'm Leah Schwagel. Topping our newscast this week, DC Virgo students build Lego Mindstorm robots. Winter Park teacher nominated for the AIG Teacher of the Year. An Azalea Festival art contest open to elementary, middle, and high school students.
Our top story this week, students at DC Virgo got to engage in science, technology, engineering, and math as they constructed and programmed Lego Mindstorm's robots. With the help of the Cape Fear Museum mobile classroom, the students got to let their imaginations soar. With a complete report is YSN reporter Bobby Blue.
It was an amazing opportunity for the students at Virgo to grow their creative problem-solving skills and enable them to become the critical thinkers and creators of the future. With the help of the Cape Fear Museum's educational outreach, students got to construct and program Lego Mindstorm robots.
The main components of this workshop is teaching the kids how to use the Lego coding software as well. It's requiring the kids to think in the same small, incremental steps that computer software engineers use. So not only are the kids being exposed to physical engineering, it's software engineering as well.
The Cape Fear Museum lessons provided an introduction to programming designed to teach core computer programming logic and reasoning skills using a robotics engineering context. During the course, students built their robots from scratch, and with hands-on instruction, they discovered how to give their robots life. Students discovered that data from sensors gives a robot information about its environment. A program uses that data to make decisions, and the robot acts on those decisions. Data underlines the core of the entire process.
It's been fun because you get to build stuff out of Legos and program it to show you how it would if you take it into real life, it'll show you how they program to do different things.
It's kind of hard to program because you're not really in control of it, so it'll just turn in random places when it's not supposed to.
Students worked in teams to master the concepts of robot programming. It was a crazy visual treat for those watching as little robots seemed to follow commands but then suddenly take wrong turns. The challenge to get the robots to follow a predetermined course encouraged the students to develop critical thinking skills, grow their ideas, and make their own creations through playful learning experiences. The skills learned through these lessons, mathematical and logical clarity, using data, systems thinking with mental models, and problem solving are not just for robotics, they are key to solving many problems in the world. Reporting for Your School News, this is Bobby Blue.
On National Manufacturing Day, more than 1,600 American manufacturers opened their doors and took up the important work of inspiring young people to pursue careers in manufacturing and engineering. Here in Wilmington, locally based Wilmington Grills opened its facility for Hoggard's Level 2 and 3 engineering students to tour and see manufacturing up close and personal. Students got to see the full spectrum of the design process from ideas and initial drawings to completion and packaging of the product. Students learned that Wilmington Grills can produce around 50+ grills a week. As students toured the facility, they saw firsthand what Wilmington Grills are not run-of-the-mill units. The company demonstrated how using only stainless steel components, the grills are assembled using welds rather than rivets and thoroughly tested before being boxed and shipped to the dealers in 20 states and Canada. This group of Hoggard students are just a small sample of students across the country who power the next chapter of American production and innovation. National Manufacturing Day is a celebration of modern manufacturing meant to inspire them to be the next generation of manufacturers.
Tara Mulvey has been nominated as the 2016-2017 New Hanover County Schools Gifted Education Teacher of the Year. Ms. Mulvey is the Gifted Education Specialist at Winter Park Elementary School. The county's Teacher of the Gifted Award is presented annually to a North Carolina teacher of gifted children who exhibits a strong commitment to gifted education. Each nominee submits an essay elaborating on one aspect in gifted education that is important to them. Ms. Mulvey wrote about a topic close to her heart that dealt with the nurturing of the potential gifts in all students. Being at a Title I school, she is aware that students come to the school with different experiences and abilities. She works closely with her staff to provide creative and critical thinking opportunities for all students. Ms. Mulvey will be notified in January if she is a state finalist. She will also attend the North Carolina Association for Gifted and Talented's 43rd Annual Conference in Winston-Salem, where the State Gifted Education Teacher of the Year will be announced.
Finally, the Azalea Festival is running an art contest for elementary, middle, and high school students to express their creativity. The Children's Art Contest is for elementary and middle school students. The winning artists in both the elementary and middle school categories receive various notable prizes, and the winning schools are treated to a visit from the Azalea Festival's official artist. The top 15 entries in each category are exhibited during the Azalea Festival at the Community Arts Center in the historic Hannah Block USO building. The deadline for the art contest is January 15th. For more information, you can contact Stephanie Craybill at stephanie@craybill.org or call 910-620-7083 with questions.
Now, when your school news continues, we have an exciting lunch menu forecast.
Plus, coming up in 60 seconds, we'll have reports on do digital natives prefer paper books to ebooks? Gregory Dads of Great Students welcome district attorneys as guest speaker, and Hoggard Marching Vikings win big in 2 competitions.
This is your school news on cable and online. Look for our blue logo for all the latest news online at www.nhcs.net. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Dorothy Parker is known for her disenchanted stories in which she revealed her underlying pessimism. A poet, critic, and short story writer, Parker is famous for her flashing verbal exchanges and malicious wit. A member of the famous intellectual circle, the Algonquin Round Table, Parker is considered one of the most influential women writers of her time. This background in literature has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back to your school news. Do digital natives prefer paperback books to ebooks? Some experts predict that ebooks and digital devices would turn print books into relics, but that hasn't happened, at least not yet. With the report is Johan Yellow.
As digital devices and access to ebooks boomed in schools and home over the past several years, some expected that print books would become relics, or at least fall out of favor with a generation growing up in an electronic world. But in a wrinkle in the digital revolution, that has not transpired, at least not yet. In fact, most students still opt to turn actual pages. In a survey, 65% of children ages 6 to 17 agreed they would always want to read in print, up from 60% in 2012. And 77% who have tried e-reading said that the majority of the books they read were in print. That was especially true for young readers when reading for pleasure. 84% of 6 to 8-year-olds read mostly on paper compared to 62% of 15 to 17-year-olds.
Students are gravitating a little bit more towards using the ebooks just because of lack of familiarity. We have to keep reminding them that they're there. We kind of concentrate on nonfiction titles as opposed to fiction titles in the high school area to provide extra resources or sometimes duplicates of print versions that we have.
Meanwhile, ebooks haven't markedly altered the collections of school libraries. According to a 2015 School Library Journal survey, 56% of school librarians responded that they now make ebooks available to students, but that number was down from the previous year.
I'm using ebooks to teach nonfiction because I can show a whole class. It's easier to show them the photographs and all the text features on a big screen than trying to hold up a book. So I used one last week with third grade about the digestive system. I don't think I'm using them to their potential, but I also think that students enjoy holding a book and having the book in their hand. At this age, I think it's still very important to them and really creates a level of reading.
School librarians surveyed observed that while students use ebooks for school projects and research, many still prefer print books, especially for pleasure reading. Only 6% of librarians reported a high interest in ebooks from students, while 37% called it moderate and 50% said it was low.
I prefer like the feel of print books, but like ebooks are cheaper, so you get more. So that's I'll take any.
I usually prefer print books because you can feel it and you can get the sense of that nice, like that amazing feeling and texture. And ebooks, but like she said, is cheaper, so you can get a lot in the same price you can get a book.
I like print books best because I love the smell and the texture that you get from a book. It gives you a better idea of what you're reading, and it's so nice to like see the cover and how everything was designed and put together. However, I do really like ebooks in that I have a Nook and I can just throw it in my bag and take it to work, which is really convenient for what I do.
Studies point to a number of reasons why young people may prefer print to ebooks, including early familiarity with print books, the tactile experience of reading on paper, and possible advantages in comprehension, particularly for longer text. But as the School Library Journal points out, the next generation of students may add a whole new dimension to reading trends. The first smartphone natives are now just entering elementary school, and they may have a greater affinity for ebooks. Reporting for your school news, this is Johan Yellow.
In other news, John T. Hoggard High School Marching Vikings were winners of 2 big awards. Their first was the Grand Champions Award at Stallion Classic at South Columbus High School and the Brick Capital Classics at Lee County High School. All our high school marching bands compete in numerous sanctioned marching band competitions each year in the hope of providing a broad-based opportunity for marching units to participate in an educational setting. It is hoped that the adjudicated events will provide a situation in which viable comments and suggestions are offered in a positive, constructive manner to each group, and a fair evaluation of the group's performance is reflected within that event's rating plan. It is intended that this system provide the fairest, most consistent experience possible for all the marching bands. Congratulations to Hoggard for their honors.
The new international school at Gregory's Watchdogs program welcomed District Attorney Ben David to speak to their group. Dads of Great Students is an innovative father involvement educational initiative of the National Center for Fathering. There are 2 primary goals of the Watchdogs program: to provide positive male role models for the students, demonstrating by their presence that education is important, and to provide extra sets of eyes and ears to enhance school security and reduce bullying. Mr. David talked to the group about crime in our city, the rise in gangs and drugs. He also shared a number of personal stories about his involvement with children and crime. Mr. David also commended the men for stepping up to be positive role models at the Title I magnet school. Watchdogs are fathers, grandfathers, uncles, and other father figures who volunteer for at least one day each year at an official Watchdog school. During the day, Watchdogs may read and work on flashcards with students, play at recess, eat lunch with the students, watch the school entrances and hallways, assist with traffic flow and any other assigned activities where they actively engage with not only their own students, but other students as well.
North Carolina was one of only 2 states, along with Massachusetts and the territory of Puerto Rico, that elected to participate in the Program for International Student Assessment in 2015, and scores in science, reading, and mathematics literacy show North Carolina is on track with the United States' performance overall. This is the first time that North Carolina has participated in the PISA. The 2015 PISA results reflect science, reading, and mathematics literacy for 15-year-olds in 73 education systems worldwide. The PISA is a system of international assessments that allows countries to compare outcomes of learning as students near the end of compulsory schooling. The assessments are given to a sample of participating nations and states every 3 years. The U.S. has participated in every cycle of PISA since it began in 2000.
Finally, in case you haven't heard, the New Hanover County Board of Education rescheduled its December 6th regular meeting. The meeting will now take place on Tuesday, December 20th. Prior to the meeting, there will be a reception beginning at 5 p.m. for the newly elected and re-elected board meetings. The regular meeting will begin at 5:30 p.m. at the Board of Education Center located at 1805 South 13th Street.
Now, before we started taping our program, we were told that while the board has moved the meeting to the 20th, more changes could be on the way. We encourage everyone to keep tuned here to TLN and Your School News. Plus, check the school system's website on a regular basis for additional news about the board meeting.
Thank you, Alexander. Now don't go away. Coming up, we have the lunch bill of fare.
Plus, in our education index, the federal government is on track to forgive at least $108 billion in student debt.
And check out these trending stories on the school system's website. Winter Park teacher nominated for the AIG Teacher of the Year. New Hanover County Board of Education reschedules regular meeting. And school district plans future Twitter chats.
Your School News continues after this break. Don't go away.
I'm Jacob Jones.
And I'm Jimmy Barnes. Join us this week for the morning show.
Start your mornings off with our outstanding and educational features.
This week we take a look at some of the neatest new technologies coming out in the near future.
We also have a new episode of Coffee with the Principal. We sit down with Freeman Elementary School's principal, Miss Susan Sellers.
I'm Tyler Dawson. I'll have the latest Your School News in the morning show. The International School at Gregory held an open house and tours, and I'll tell you all about it.
We also have this week's lunch menu, our hilarious joke of the week, and morning show math.
Join us for the morning show. Weekdays mornings at 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. Weekends at 10 a.m. right here on the Learning Network of the Cape Fear.
Welcome back to Your School News. It's time now for our Education Index, a look around the nation and the world at some of the top stories in education. Topping the index, U.S. Secretary of Education John B. King, Jr. sent a letter out last week encouraging state leaders to ban the use of corporal punishment in schools. Though the practice, which can include paddling, spanking, or hitting students, is allowed in only 22 states, it is widely considered an ineffective and harmful form of punishment. Some proponents argue, however, that physical discipline is a traditional child-rearing practice that has always been used in school communities. Students who receive spankings become aggressive and defiant in the short term, according to a 2013 study. In the long term, they are more likely to later deal with substance abuse and mental health problems such as depression, post-traumatic stress, and personality disorders. Corporal punishment can also affect students' cognitive functions, including brain development, problem-solving skills, and verbal ability. The Teacher and Principal School Report, Equity in Education, which factored in the responses of 4,721 pre-K through 12th grade public school teachers and principals, emphasized the difference between equality and equity in education. That is, while students should have equal access to learning resources, each student deserves equity or the individual support needed to reach success. While barriers to reaching equity are pervasive across school poverty levels, they are significantly heightened in low-income schools. Of educators in high-poverty schools, 69% say their students lack access to books at home, compared with 20% of educators in low-poverty schools who chose that response. Similarly, 69% say families in high-poverty schools aren't involved enough in student learning, compared with 18% of educators in schools with low poverty rates. Finally, the federal government is on track to forgive at least $108 billion in student debt in the coming years, as more and more borrowers seek help in paying down their loans, leading to lower revenues for the nation's program to finance higher education. The Government Accountability Office disclosed the sum Wednesday in a report to Congress, which for the first time projected the full cost of the programs that set borrowers' monthly payments as a share of their earnings and eventually forgive portions of their debt. The GAO report also sharply criticized the government's accounting methods for its $1.26 trillion student loan portfolio, pointing to flaws that have led it to alter projected revenues significantly over the years. The government says it still expects the program to generate a profit over the long term, but it has repeatedly trimmed expectations for revenues. And that's this week's Education Index, a quick look at some of the interesting education stories from around the nation and the world. Now don't go away, we'll be right back with the Lunch Bill of Fare. This is your school news on cable and online. Look for our blue logo for all the latest news online at www.nhcs.net.
I can listen.
I can cook.
Good. I can coach.
Kids with something to do are less likely to do drugs.
I can drive.
I can paint.
I can dance.
A little of your time can make a lifetime of difference.
I can read.
I can help. You can help. Call toll-free 1-877-KIDS-313 to find out about community drug prevention programs.
I can keep a kid off drugs.
Get a job.
Look, it's a giraffe.
I don't see it.
The less art kids get, the more it shows. Are yours getting enough? Art. Ask for more. AmericansForTheArts.org.
Welcome back to Your School News. It's time now for this week's Lunch Bill of Fare. Our lunch menu anchor, Hunter Liedman, joins us now with this week's school lunch menu so parents, students, teachers, and everyone working with the New Hanover County school system can plan their lunchtime options.
Thanks. December is Tropical Fruits Month. This week we get to look at the health benefits of the orange. But first, let's check out what your cafeteria is serving for lunch. On Tuesday, December 13th, choose from a delicious grilled cheese sandwich, a tasty grilled cheese, or a mouth-watering stuffed crust pizza. On the sides, we have vegetable soup, tater tots, garden salad, applesauce, and fresh fruit. On Wednesday, December 14th, choose from chicken fried rice with an egg roll, cheesy breadsticks, or a pork barbecue sandwich with hush puppies. On the sides include pasta salad, glazed carrots, garden salad, mandarin oranges, and fresh fruit. On Thursday, December 15th, enjoy our holiday meal consisting of delicious turkey and gravy with biscuit and stuffing, a cheeseburger, or a deluxe chicken sandwich. On the sides, the side items include mashed potatoes, garden salad, apple crisp, or fresh fruit. On Friday, December 16th, finish the week off entree choices include nachos grande, fish nuggets, or popcorn chicken with either a dinner roll or a cornbread muffin. Side items include black beans, corn salad, North Carolina sweet potatoes, garden salad, diced pears, and fresh fruit. For the weekend, I've got my healthy tip. Just like a bike may become rusty if it's not used sometime, our muscles and bones need to be kept moving too. Activity is needed to keep your heart healthy for your bones strong. It can also be good fun. After the weekend, start off with these entree choices: chicken filet sandwich, lasagna roll-up with a breadstick, or corn dog nuggets. Side items include black-eyed peas, garden salad, diced peaches, and fresh fruit. Oranges are a perfect snack for everyone. First introduced in the late 1400s to the United States, they provide us with a concentration of vitamin C and B1. Today, the orange tree is the most cultivated tree in the world. Next week, we will wrap up Tropical Fruit Month with melons, so don't miss out. Now let's review this week's selections. You got some great entrees to choose from this week. On Tuesday, enjoy grilled chicken sandwich. Wednesday, we have cheesy breadsticks. Thursday, enjoy our holiday meal. End the week off with nachos grande. And return to the short week to enjoy chicken filet sandwich. That's the Sun Slate for lunch at your school's cafeteria, so don't miss any of this nutritious, delicious, and healthy meals. With the Lunch Bill of Fare, I'm Hunter Ledman. Back to you.
Thanks, Hunter. Don't forget, you can also catch the Lunch Bill of Fare during the morning show here on the Learning Network and get lots of healthful nutrition information online at www.nhcs.net/nutrition. Now don't go away. Coming up next, a very special tree goes up at the School System Administration Building. We've got all the details next on Your School News.
The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw?
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back to Your School News. For the very first time, the superintendent of New Hanover County Schools has a holiday tree in his office.
The idea for this year's tree was the brainchild of the administrative staff. Instead of decorating a tree with store-bought items, the superintendent invited school children throughout the district to create ornaments for his tree.
The response was overwhelming, with hundreds of handmade decorations pouring in the office at 6-4-10.
All grade levels from a variety of schools sent in paper, wooden, and styrofoam painted ornaments. Then came from Ogden, Parsley, and Sunset Park and Williston.
The wonderful decorations created by the students of New Hanover County Schools has made for a truly remarkable tree that really radiates the love of the season.
This new ornament tradition now joins the one where students create the superintendent's holiday cards.
This year, thousands and thousands of students submitted designs for the cards, but only 6 were selected.
They were 3rd and 4th graders Mackenzie Parker and Yanira De Leon Perez from Wrightsboro Elementary, along with 2nd grader Bella Leonardi from College Park Elementary.
From DC Virgo Academy, 7th grader Unique Brown had her artwork selected, as did Roland Grice, 8th grader Jenna Benyon.
Finally, New Hanover County Schools senior and one of our very own NHCS TV interns, Ivan Santiago, had his artwork selected for the superintendent's holiday cards.
That does it for this edition of Your School News. Recapping some of our main stories. DC Virgo students build Lego Mindstorm robots. Winter Park teacher nominated for the AIG Teacher of the Year. And Azalea Festival art contest open to elementary, middle, and high school students.
Remember, Your School News is on cable and online. And don't forget to start your morning with our light and lively morning show, weekdays at 6 a.m. I'm Alexander Ellsworth.
And I'm Leah Schwagel. On behalf of the entire YSN crew, thank you for watching New Hanover County Schools TV on the Learning Network.
Have a great day.